after the game, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he said Bournemouth wanted it more.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that. I mean, he told everyone, oh, Bournemouth wanted it. That's just not good enough for a team like Liverpool, especially after that win what they had against Man United.
So let's talk about Bournemouth 1 at Liverpool 0. I'd like to start with a man who certainly could never be restricted in what he says or tweets. Liam Gallagher tweeted, "Guess who's not back? #LFC."
It's not even a good tweet, is it?
It doesn't need to be.
It
Doesn't need to be.
works.
As long as there's no punctuation and you understand what he means,
yes,
and it's violently, aggressively snippy, yes, please.
I mean,
LG.
let's be honest. Like often, massive, pop stars and celebrities, you can tell that their tweets are curated by somebody else. Liam Gallagher, with every letter, not even word letter, he proves that he's very much in control of his Twitter feed.
Marcus, are you still Klopp out?
Come on. Look, I'm glad you asked me that, Jim, because obviously after the Real Madrid game, I was suggesting that it was quite sad to see, and I wanted Klopp to be able to turn around the situation. My question was, and still is, can he do that? And is this Liverpool team, cooked? They are. The injuries, gone. I'm bored of hearing myself say about how, last season, nearly the perfect season, to then pick yourself up again. It's very, very difficult. And what this side have done, or a lot of this side, and Klopp have done, has been utterly phenomenal. You can't stress that enough. And so my question is, well, can he turn it around? I don't know. If it carried on like this into next season, then it would be a situation where, do you keep him? I think he's got loads of capital in the bank, of course. But come the summer, could there be a difficult conversation? I think if he wants to stay, he will stay, and this kind of stuff. And then, of course, when Liverpool won 7-0, a lot of people said, "Oh, you've been critical of Liverpool," and da 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 da. I didn't get any tweets from those people this weekend, incidentally. So I don't know whether they've been silenced or not.
It was a complete freak result, seriously.
Yeah. But was it a freak
result? Yes, they beat a team that had 11 games in 31 days. They were Man United were clearly absolutely knackered. And
that was it. I thought you meant Bournemouth.
Oh, not this. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So no, they weren't back. It was just a freak result.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah. There you are, David. Come sit next to me.
I didn't say it. He said it, innit? So I agree with him, but I didn't say it.
And will the history books have that in brackets? 7-0. Freak result. Nothing to see here. But look, with Bournemouth.
The thing that's got to be... It's funny. I was a little bit annoyed by this result because I was almost
Bournemouth are now better than Man United?
Well, that's how it works, yeah. Do you remember that period where the US were world champions because they beat Spain?
Oh, what a period it was.
So... I was a bit annoyed because I was like, you can't go and pump Manchester United like that. Like but then
disrespect a club like Man United,
and then do this because not only do you in turn accidentally shit on again the club I support, but you basically do down any kind of sense of goodwill there because you're not only you're losing to a team at the bottom, but the way they lost to them as well.
Well, Gary O'Neill said after
I didn't understand.
Gary O'Neill says after the game, well, I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't score more.
Yeah.
That's where we are with this.
Well, we were talking last week after the Arsenal-Bournemouth game about how actually this is the point in the season where fixtures are at their hardest because everyone's fighting for something, particularly down the bottom. Those teams are suddenly, you'd rather play a team in mid-table than a team down the bottom from about now. Yeah. And I think that is just this in action.
Yeah, I mean, was it revenge for the 9-0 in a way?
I suppose it was.
They've both taken 3 points off each other, Jim.
I don't know if Gary O'Neill is a vengeful man, but if he is, he's got what he wants.
He doesn't strike me as that, but it is a huge win for Bournemouth, and they deserved it. And old Philip Billing has chipped in with a few goals.
He was brilliant.
Old Phil Bill, he loves it. And Bournemouth now 24 points, the same as West Ham and Leicester, 1 point behind Everton. I mean, the bottom of the table it's extraordinary reading. Obviously, we've got a title race on our hands. We'll come to that. The battle for fourth. Well, Liverpool are not playing their part there. I think is that the thing that concerns everybody, that Tottenham will represent the Premier League and England in the Champions League next season. I don't know, but they got a good win, and so we shouldn't be too.
Well, I mean, this is massive for Spurs and Newcastle, isn't it? Because we're all thinking, okay, this is where Liverpool do their thing and they motor up the table. But actually,
well, that's right.
I feel less certain about that now.
But down the bottom, though, that is bad news for the rest of the teams down there, because they probably thought, right, Bournemouth are playing Liverpool after that 7-0. Great, okay, right, what can we do ourselves? But Bournemouth are there. They're only they're only in the relegation zone because of goal difference, and it's so tight. I mean, it's Palace down now. That's where it is. But Bournemouth, that kind of win, it gives you confidence. It gives you a fighting chance. And the fact is, David, Bournemouth could have won the game by more. They created a lot of chances.
Absolutely.
And they look great.
Yeah, I thought man of the match.
And also only just got beat by Arsenal, I should say. A great performance at the Emirates. So there's a little bit of momentum to pick themselves up from that and beat Liverpool. The confidence is now back.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Ouattara, for me, who was man of the match along with Billy, should have scored a few more. They really did just keep getting inside Liverpool. Once again, Liverpool trying to recapture that old press and then getting completely done on it every single time because the players haven't got the recovery pace as they once had.
Yeah.
162 combined injuries this season for Liverpool. It's the most out of any Premier League squad. 162 combined, yeah.
Wow.
It's absolutely insane. By far and away the worst in the Premier League. And it's just so notable in the way, and this is why you have to question Klopp as well, because he's still wanting them to go with a certain approach, and they clearly can't execute what he wants to do anymore. And Bournemouth really took them apart here when they wanted to, and it could have been a lot more. But Bournemouth are excellent.
But do you not think, though, with that Liverpool win against Manchester United, Klopp has tried to kind of change the style a bit. He is more aware than anybody is about the situation there, about the players, the injuries. Van Dijk is a shadow of the player he was, partly to do with injuries, partly to do with the sort of context situation. So you've got the injuries, you've got the fatigue, you've got the ageing, all that kind of stuff. He has tried to sort of change the style a little bit. They are sixth, do you know what I mean? It's not like battling relegation, but it would never be with that squad, of course, and that manager. But I think it's been very, very difficult for Liverpool. And I think my point, was going to be that off the back of the 7-0 against Manchester United, where it did seem like a bit more the old Liverpool, to quote Klopp again, it felt like a day of last season. It's kind of like, well, let's try and do that again. Do you think there was a temptation for that? And actually, no, that this season, certainly, that's just not on the table.
Yeah, I think there is a temptation. I think this is the problem with Liverpool. They're very much resting on the laurels of when they were once good. So in terms of style, but also the players as well. There isn't much competition for places there. He's got a lot of favourites, a few people who are just constantly in the team as well. And it's interesting as well. After the game, Trent Alexander-Arnold really said Bournemouth wanted it more.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that. I mean, he told everyone, Bournemouth wanted it. That's just not good enough for a team like Liverpool, especially after that win what they had against Man United.
No, and he also said they it's unacceptable. We need to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again. How many times, Jim, have we heard that from players this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're just transitioning, aren't they, at the moment? Like the forward line still looks really, really good. There's so much like attacking quality to choose from there, but it's just the team are not up to that standard everywhere else. So it just becomes really disjointed really quickly.
And then when you get Mo Salah with his penalty miss, such a reliable player, has been one of the best players in world football for a fair few years now. It's not like, the keeper saved it came over the post. Vish, that was a shocking penalty. I know we can all have our moments, but blimey.
It was so wide that even from our angle on TV, you could tell it was going wide.
Yeah.
We only got one replay, didn't we?
Like when you haven't worked out how the penalty system works on FIFA.
Yeah, when you just get it.
Yeah,
yes.
It is a bit like that.
It was so strange. And the reaction to the penalty miss was, in terms of the minutes that followed, there was no sense of a bit more urgency
trying to atone for that error.
Yeah, there was a bit like, this is just one of those days, and it's like you're a big team. You were fighting for 4 trophies last year. You don't have one of these days.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be resigned to one of these days.
And they really, it would be huge if they could finish 4th. But you look around and you think, do they have the fight for that? Because, as I say, we're making the observations because of the performances of us, but also because of what's coming out of the mouths of the manager and the players.
Yeah.
Your hands are tied. You want to try and say, well, no, they are fighting, they are this, that, and the other. They're not, by their own admission. This is desperately strange. And I know last week we were talking about a great performance and so on, and it sounds like, hang on, you're changing your tune or you're flipping around. Well, we're only reacting to what is going on.
Yeah, I'm surprised that actually this result came after the Man United result for obvious reasons. But I think you see this a lot with when a sort of a big club gets into a situation where they're not having the kind of season you'd expect. Everything looks difficult. Everything looks like it's about to go wrong, even before it actually has. And then that sort of sense of dread, almost like you see it translate to the play.